to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right in the midst of it, in the hopes that perhaps something we say may help you and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive to thriving right in the midst of disease. We have been talking the last few weeks about the decisions that we make and how those decisions will either reap us a great reward that we enjoy or a reward that is something that we don't want. And so the importance of making good decisions so that we can get the things that we want. I want to talk to you a little bit about it from a different aspect. I want to look at it from the aspect of a family. It is hard to pull a family together, to create a family that is full of love, that is close-knit, that is strong, without a health crisis in the middle. But when you have a health crisis in the middle of trying to build that family and pull that family together, the issue is just compounded. But I do want you to know that it's possible, that it is doable, and that you can accomplish that. There is a secret that a lot of people don't know, and the reason why they don't know it is because they haven't endured testing and trials and pressing. So when you go through a health crisis, note that there is a whole nother level that you're able to pull back and reveal that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do or to see. And that is, there's a sweetness. There is such a level, y'all, of love, of unity, of strength. There is such a bond that can be created within your family because you have endured this and you have fought the fight to pull together. So I want to encourage you to keep pulling together, to keep striving, to keep enduring and doing all that you have to do to pull your family together so that you too can get to that sweet place. So you too can hit that sweet spot in your family and reap the benefits of all that you guys have gone through, all that you have endured. Now, sometimes you're going to have to make a sacrifice. Sometimes the sacrifice is going to cost you personally so that everyone around you, your family unit, can reap a greater reward. An example of that from my own life is in the early years when we were going through, I've told you guys that we had 5 children. They were all 5 babies under the age of 7, and one of those was a newborn. So I had to make some personal sacrifices that cost me dearly and cost me great suffering for the good of my whole family. Now remember, am I telling you to do this? No, I am awakening you to some of the things that can happen and giving you an example from my life. And I did what was best for my family. Now, in the early years, when all of our children were babies, there was medication that could have helped me. And I did try it and it did help me for a little bit. However, I did not continue on with that medication, and I'm going to tell you why. One of the side effects of the medication was it altered the mind, and it did not allow me to have a clear mindset to raise my children. And so I chose to not take that medicine any longer because I felt it was more important that I had a clear mindset. Because I knew I was going to be with my children by myself at times, and my children were young, and like I told you, I had a newborn, and it was imperative that I had a clear mindset at all times. The other part of that is during that time, we had a lot of opportunities for our family to separate, for my children to go in one direction, for me to go in another direction, and my husband to go in another direction. And we did not think that was the best decision for our family. We thought it was best for us to stay together. So we stayed together, but in staying together, I needed to be present. And there were some medical treatments that I could have taken that would have helped me physically so that I didn't have to endure so much suffering and so much pain. But I chose not to do those treatments, and the reason why was that it was going to keep me away from my family for long periods of time continually. And I did not think that was a great idea. I thought that It was important for my family to be together, for my children to have their mother, and for us, that was the best decision. However, I did suffer greatly for years. I suffered morning, noon, and night. It cost me. It cost me greatly. But I did not suffer alone. My family met me. They were there for me, and they surrounded me. But in that, my family did reap from that. It taught my children how to not be selfish and self-centered. They had to learn how to focus in on someone else. They had to learn how to give love throughout their life. But it also did something in my marriage. It pulled my husband and I together and created a strong bond between us, because we had to fight for something together. We had to fight against some things together, and now we know how to work well together. We have a great level of trust. Where we used to struggle in communication, we have learned how to communicate, not just verbally, but to how to listen and how to read each other, and to discern where each other's at. But we have each other's back like nobody else. I mean, we are each other's ace, boom, coon. We are each other's ride or die. And life situations have given us the opportunity repeatedly to prove that. And so because of that, we have a greater level of trust. There's also a greater level of forgiveness. There were some things, and in the early years, you do stuff that, you hurt each other, not intentionally, but you do. And it's sometimes hard to forgive each other. And I struggled with forgiveness, especially in my marriage. However, in going through the things that we have gone through, it is amazing how I was able to learn how to forgive, to release, and let a lot of things go, which brought our family, our marriage closer together. So I just wanted to share that with you. Not necessarily that you will be going through those kind of things or facing those kind of things, but to bring you an awareness, to let you become aware that there are times when decisions may have to be made. They may cost you for the greater good of your whole family unit. But it is up for you to decide what those decisions are and how you should make those decisions. But it can be worth it on the back end, and it was worth it for my family on the back end. I have a closer, stronger knit, more loving family because of some of the decisions that I made. Now, you may not have to make decisions like that as far as going through great sufferings. It may cost you your ambition. Is your ambition pulling your family apart? Are you working so many hours that your family is being ripped apart because you're not there? Because they're desiring your presence, your time, your attention. It could be other things like that. It doesn't have to be, something that's going to cause great suffering in your health. It could cost you giving up something of who you are to bring your family together. Is it worth it? Yes. Yes, most definitely. In my household, it is 100% worth it. So I just want you to be aware of those type of things and to consider those type of things, and to realize opportunities in your life when it may be better for you to pay a price so that you could reap in the long run. As always, your family structure is different. Your family dynamic is different, but always do what is best for you and your house. Like us down below, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.